I'm a sixth generation Florida rancher. This particular ranch, my brother and I are partners, and fortunately we was raised to be conservation minded people, and we've passed it on to our other families.
Welcome to Shenandoah Dairy. This is home to 3,250 milking cows today. In addition to that, there's a little over 80 families that earn their livelihoods milking cows and growing crops and feeding heifers and all the additional tasks that go along with running a dairy farm.
Okay, here at Dasher Farms in our greenhouse operation, we're constantly trying to think of ways that we can improve on our BMPs and our irrigation system to be more efficient with our water system.
When we were first getting started in the poultry industry, we had 4 poultry houses, and the concern came with the dairies in the area and the poultry houses. With Farm Bureau and NRCS and water management, they kind of got together and started a program called CARES.
As we look back as this program CARES developed, which stands for the County Alliance of Responsible Environmental Stewardship, it's interesting how the different intricacies started to develop and play roles in this program. You have the Department of Environmental Protection, you have FDACS, you have IFIS, and a lot of county, and of course the Swanee River Water Management District that were all buying into this volunteer program. It was about 2001 when all of these things came together and really formed this program called CARES, which we certainly are proud to be a part of. The CARES program has really grown by leaps and bounds, in my opinion. It was slow getting started, but yet very significant. And as we recognize there are producers not only in the Swanee Valley area doing great things, we've recognized that across the state we have a lot of producers that indeed are implementing the same things that are happening in the Swanee River Valley. We need to recognize those individuals, whether it's at a county annual dinner or having other formal CARES programs throughout this state, from the Everglades all the way to Pensacola. We have a lot of agriculture producers doing the right things. We go back and look in the history of this state and some of the concerns that we've had over issues of water, water consumption, nutrient loads. It was really about the early 2000s, late 1990s that we were really starting to recognize the importance of how all of this works within our state, and primarily on our behalf on what agriculture's role it has in the environment. And as we began to recognize through better science and better technology that indeed our farmers needed to improve their techniques and improve their environmental awareness, more or less, that we've developed the CARES program. And this program was to help not only our producers become more knowledgeable of the environment impacts that they may have on their farms, but also begin to implement and put into practices into place that help protect and preserve our environment. And that's how the CARES program was developed.
The Office of Ag Water Policy's role through CARES is to essentially develop best management practices, and best management practices are research-based, scientifically based practices that producers can use on their operations, both from a management standpoint or structural standpoint. And those things are designed to essentially protect and conserve water. And as part of the Office of Ag Water Policy, our field staff essentially work with producers to evaluate their operations, to assess which best management practices are applicable to their operation. And then a producer signs a notice of intent, which is kind of the legal way for the producer to be recognized on the state level to be part of our program. Steps for a producer to be part of the CARES program from our perspective is once they have enrolled in our BMP program, essentially they implement those best management practices on their operation. Our staff would then go out a year or after they have actually implemented those practices and verify that they are indeed operating and maintaining those best management practices on their operation. And then we have an actual form that we fill out to verify that they have indeed done those things, and then we notify Florida Farm Bureau that those producers are eligible for the CARES program. The benefits of operating and maintaining these best management practices on these operations is, one, certainly the ag industry as a whole receives a positive public image, but in addition to those things, producers receive a presumption of compliance with state water quality standards. When a total maximum daily load is set, producers that enrolled in our program receive that presumption of compliance. They also receive a waiver of liability from any recovery costs that the Department of Environmental Protection may pursue because of any water quality issues. The other benefits they receive are cost share, if it's available, relief from local ordinances that may address the same issue there locally. So those are the benefits that ag operations receive being part of our program.
Our water is our most important, or one of our most important resources, and to grow in a system like this where no water is wasted whatsoever, where everything is recycled, and whether we get a hard rain, there's no leaching, all the nutrients are controlled, so there's nothing going into the ground, and the only water and the only nutrients that are used is what just the plants uptake themselves, because everything is recycled back.
We had a lot of cattle going to streams and creeks and wetlands watering, and so we put some solar water systems in, help cost share on them. That's really proved to be beneficial, maybe more than anything. We noticed the cattle go to them, and there's less access or less travel in the wetlands.
A waste management program, we have organic fertilizer. It's generated by the cows. We collect this up. All of the waste up on a concrete surface. It's all handled via flush water and tractors and equipment. It's put into a line holding pond. The water is used several times to flush the floors over and over again, but eventually we take the water and we pump it out onto the crops, and the crops utilize the water and the organic fertilizer and then it's harvested and fed back to the cows. It's a cycle. We try not to let any nutrients escape the system.
With the greenhouse concept, everything is soilless in here, from the nutrient flow technique that we use to the perlite bags that we use. All the nutrients are delivered through the water, and that's all contained, and by the time the water exits the greenhouse and we have to reuse it, all the nutrients have been utilized by the crop in the greenhouse. When it goes back out, there's virtually no nutrients left in it.
These culverts, we ended up putting in a lot of them throughout the different ranches, and it's a cost share deal with FDACs, and they paid for the culvert itself, the engineer to have the elevation shot, and also for the construction work, and they paid the bigger percentage of the cost.
We first started out, with spreading our fertilizer and stuff. We'd have to try to pick times when they was dew on the grass so we could see our lines or see our marks and so forth. But we got the light bar system on our tractor, so we could use the light bar and spread our fertilizers and so forth, and by not having any overlaps or skips, and we immediately recognized a savings in fertilizer and being dead on with our applications and so forth. And then that opened the door to get us more involved in the accuracy and stuff. Then we moved up to the GPS guidance system, and now then it's just we're dead on accuracy with being able to count our acres and mix our chemicals and so forth.
The poultry houses are all environmentally controlled. This is a computer box. We've got 4 houses right now that's totally computerized. It pretty much does everything. I program at one time, and it actually takes care of the chickens. It controls fans, feed, water, lights, heat, whatever. It pretty much keeps that chicken at the temperature it needs to be throughout its entire life cycle here on the farm. And what's neat is I can control this from my cell phone or iPad or whatnot.
Everything that we do with the land, you have to keep in mind that there's 2 more generations here and probably going to be a 3rd one coming. And you need to take care of those kids. You don't want the aquifer to be polluted. And you don't want to do things to make things unhealthy and not safe for them.
We have what we call a 100-year business plan. 100-year business plan is the process, and we try and incorporate a plan or an opportunity for the next generation to come in and take over the business. You're not going to do that by wrecking the environment. You're going to only do that by having a positive impact.
If you haven't done your BMPs yet, find somebody that's done them already. Give me a call. It's an easy process. Let's go ahead and do it while you got a chance to get it done with the state helping you.
If I don't take care of the land and the water, then I'm not going to be able to grow chickens. In turn, you're not going to be able to eat food. In my opinion, farmers were the first environmental stewards of the land anyway, because the land is what made them make a living and what took care of their families. So, you know, why wouldn't the farmers be doing that today? And why wouldn't they want to do that today?
CARES program's been really instrumental in helping us achieve the desired results. And desired results mean that, hey, we're a plus to the environment, we're a plus to the community. We have an opportunity to have an impact with all the families and all the people that are involved here.
This land has been in our family for 4 generations, and we hope for it to continue for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And if we're not responsible with what we have now, it won't be available for them in the future. It's not just what we get out of it, but it's what we enjoy our life and the world that we have in farming and agriculture, and we want to be able to pass it down. But if we're not responsible today, we won't have it in the future.